Hi friends, Andrea here with Hip Kit Club. I am gonna be showing you how to make 3 different cards today. We are gonna be playing with the new Stamp Market Stamp and Die set, also with some of the inks that we got with our May kits in the color kit. And I'm gonna start with one of our butterfly cut files designed by Annette from the design team. I used this one for a different project for a mini album, and in this case we are gonna use it to decorate one of our cards. I'm fussy cutting now a piece of vellum that I want to just sandwich in the middle there to create some dimension. I'm gonna make sure that the 3 layers are there, and I'm going to machine stitch around the thorax of the butterfly just to make sure that everything stays in place. That's the only part. I want to make sure, I want to make sure that I can see the 3 layers on the card. And for this background, I'm going to be playing with some mixed media. So I'm going to bring some of the Lindy's Magical Powders from previous kits. I'm going to be working with 3 different colors and my very favorite Nuvo Embellishment Mousse. But first of all, lesson learned from one of my previous projects, gesso. Gesso. Since I want to create a background, there's going to be a lot of watercolor and water and all that. So once the gesso layer is dry, I'm bringing one of the stencils that we also got. This is the April stencil from the color kit, and I want to kind of recreate that peachy color that I'm getting from the paper that I have on the butterfly. So I'm mixing the yellow and the pink embellishment mousse just to create some texture. I'm not looking for perfection here. I just want a little bit of texture. And now we are going to be playing with watercolors. So I'm bringing the powders, the Lindy's powders, and later on I also bring the Art Philosophy watercolor, the red one that we got on the previous month's kit. Okay, it's the blush one. You'll see it in just a minute. And I am gonna end up cutting this in a circle shape. So right now I'm starting here around on top of adding the watercolors on top of the textured mousse, and then I'm kind of trying to find or creating that circle shape that I'm gonna end up using some dies to get the actual shape. So again, not looking for perfection here. To me, it's more about the color, and this is why I should come here. Here now and use that blush watercolor mixed with one of the powders to get that pink. That is the color I wanted. So it's now looking perfect. Just playing with it a little bit, moving that page, letting it run with the water, getting mixed with the water, and then we just set it aside to dry. So while that is happening, I'm starting to work on a different card. I'm using one of the pink cardstock from the cardstock kit from May. That's gonna be the base for my card, and then the white, another piece of that white cardstock, also from this month's kit. I'll be making 3 cards, and the 3 of them are 6x6. Okay, so they're square shape and all the same size intentionally, because I end up keeping them or putting all of them in a box, so I'm able to give them to someone or at least keep them safe before I decide where the cards are gonna go. Okay, I created this cluster. I had a bunch of flowers that I fussy cut from one of the last month's papers, and that's what I'm using around that circle to create that wreath. And here it comes the fun. We are gonna play with those stamps that we got in that new kit this month. And so I changed. You see that the first butterfly, the background is on the block, and then I changed my mind. I said, I know I'm gonna be needing to stamp more than one time, so I want to make sure that everything stays in place while I'll do that. And the reason being, I'm using a very heavy cardstock, and I know that I'm gonna need a lot of ink. So I'm using the new Stamp Market, the melon orange color. We're also gonna be using the yellow ink, and I'm also using a few inks from my stash. At this point, I didn't test the exact colors that I wanted to use before, so I'm having a hard time right there with the teal color. Now I found the perfect one. Try the melon orange again. And there you go. So I got the colors I wanted. We're gonna clean those stamps right now, make sure they can go back in the package. And we get that, and that's it for now. For the third layer, the second layer butterfly at the bottom and the third layer on the other butterfly, I'm going to be using some vellum, and we are going to do some embossing. So I take my Versamark ink, and I'm going to use white powder for this one, and I do this before I run it through the Sizzix with the die to cut it, because since I'm working with vellum, I can just run them through the machine at the same time, do it only once. And for this second one, I'm using gold powder. This is definitely my favorite color. Okay, we are almost there. And we go ahead. As I said, I'm running them through the Sizzix with both layers at the same time. You can layer them without an issue, especially because it is vellum. So if you're gonna work with thick paper or cardstock, try to do one at a time, just to make sure that you get the perfect cut and the perfect shape. Okay, now I'm coming with the thorax of the butterflies, 2 different colors that match the wings of each one of them. Some teal, and here we come with the Stamp Market yellow one. And the easy way here is to just fussy cut it. The die has the shape, you can see the antennas and all that, but not just the thorax. So what I ended up just fussy cutting. And this is how I'm storing them. I'm making sure that the dies go in the stamps bag to keep everything in one place, everything's safe. So now I'm layering them, and I'm running them through the sewing machine to make sure that they're going to be in place. You can also use regular glue, or you can use super sticky double-sided tape. Here I'm using adhesive foam to add some dimension. I test and make sure that those wings move. Oh, right. So for this first card that we're working on, I'm going to use our gold butterfly. And I took this congratulations sentiment is from the Amy Tangerine cardboard stickers that we get in the March kit. For the butterfly, I'm using 2 layers of adhesive foam. Yep. We just wanted to make sure that the butterfly really pops up. And here we go. Okay, so I have the circle shape and I'm running that through the sewing machine many times, again, not looking for the perfect shape, but just dimension and a little bit of, white there. And I love all the shimmery and the colors that I got by mixing all those powders and watercolors. It was great. Really, really happy. For a mixed media beginner, this was like a success. I am completely in love with the result. I'm using the teal color cardstock, and this is one of the puffy words that we got on the March kits. I believe it's one of the Bloom Street words that I still have there, waiting for that perfect moment to be used. Adding some adhesive foam to that butterfly, and then we just come with enamel dots. These are from previous kits. It's one of the Cartavella summer market. And from the February kits, I took the word day from the gold words. Okay, the last card, again, we're working with the 6x6 square card. I'm using the yellow cardstock. This is the shimmery one that we got last month. Love the color, and I'm using the same pink that from the Stamp Market scrapbook paper kit. And it is the same that I used for the butterfly on the second card. And here we are going to use one of the butterflies that we stamped and cut, and we're gonna create a shaker. So I'm using my C6 to get this circle, and it's gonna be a circle through the cardstock as well. So you're gonna be able to see the shaker from both sides. You're gonna see that. That's why I'm adding a little bit of washi tape to hold it in place and make sure I get the circle where I want it. So the next step is you need to grab your acetate, and you'll need 2 sheets or 2 squares of it, because there will be no background for the shaker. You need to cover both sides with the acetate. I ran the foam sheet, that square that you see there, through the C6 as well, with using the same die to make sure that I got the perfect circle. That makes it easier to when it comes to adding all the sequins, since you have the perfect shape, and then just placing the second layer on top of it. You just need to make sure that it's aligned, and that's it. Okay. So I'm trying to get all the yellows and oranges, a little bit of pink, and we also go with multicolor. yes, a little bit of pops of color, some green. This foam, it's not that thick, and I thought, well, maybe I should not overdo it and not add that many colors, but I could have been more aggressive there. It ends up looking super good, and it looks really cute with the butterfly on top. So here is the most difficult part, and that's it. You just make sure you align it, put it on top of it, and you can see. Because we can see it from both sides because we use those 2 sheets of acetate. I do not want to add any dimension. I don't want any adhesive foam to be seen from the other side once you open the card, so that's why I used just a little bit of double-sided tape. And then I'm getting, okay, so I get my sentiment, and this is from the Fifth and Monaco with pink paisley sticker sheet. So I got this remember sign, and then from that, then I'm cutting 2 pieces of that black banner. And the bottom of that sticker there, it's gold. So I thought it looked really well with the remember sentiment. Off camera, I created that tiny box that holds the 3 cards. This one has all the colors, some of my favorite colors. That gold butterfly, it's a dream. Here we come with some layers. You see that I created a white border for that butterfly. I felt that it needed something else. And the third one, open it, you get your shaker. I'm telling you, it moves and it makes that sound that is so good. And that is it, my friends. As you can see, we worked with a lot of different techniques. The fussy cutting part you didn't get to see, but there was there. Well, those tiny butterflies we did on camera. We did some stamping, cut files, watercolors for the mixed media, and the stencil and the mousse. It was just a dream working with the kids this month. There was a lot to choose from and lots of techniques that I wanted to try. And with cards, that is definitely something you can do. You don't feel intimidated by having to work with a 12 by 12 paper. So this is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try some of these techniques and some of these new and fun toys that we got with our May kits, and take those old kits, especially the color kits, and play with them. So please go ahead and check all the projects with the rest of the team today. There is also a new project over on the Facebook group and the Hip Kit Club blog, so make sure you check those every single day for lots of inspiration from the rest of the amazing ladies from the design team. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!